The Endeavor Multi-Surface Extractor from EDIC is the ultimate power tool for deep cleaning and restoration of tile and grout floors, as well as other types of hard surface floors. Step 1 of the cleaning process happens before you even get the Endeavor out of the van or the janitor's closet. You must pre-inspect the floor to identify several important things. First, you must pre-inspect the floor you are cleaning to identify if it is a natural or man-made material, especially if you plan to use an acid-based cleaning chemical. To test the floor for acid sensitivity, choose a small inconspicuous spot in the corner of the room and use a dropper to apply a small amount of your acid-based cleaning chemical to the tile. If the chemical fizzes or bubbles on the tile, then you know you have an acid-sensitive floor and you need to choose a different chemical to clean it with, or you risk damaging your customer's floor. Second, you must pre-inspect the floor to identify if it has a sealer on it. To test for a sealer, choose an inconspicuous area of the floor and use a dropper to place a few drops of acid-based chemical in the grout line. If the chemical bubbles or fizzes on contact, the floor isn't sealed and you can clean it. If it doesn't fizz, then the floor will need to be stripped before cleaning to get restorative results in the grout lines. Once the floor is stripped, you should test the tile again for acid sensitivity before you clean. Now that we know what kind of floor we are working on, we will go through the proper steps to set up the Endeavor for cleaning. Load up the Endeavor with the Revolution Hard Surface tool, the hose assembly, and a bucket that can be loaded with a pump-up sprayer and other miscellaneous tools and towels, and then transport it to the job site. Position the Endeavor at the entrance of the area that you are cleaning so it's not obstructing the floor you will be working on. Before you continue with machine setup, now is a good time to pre-spray the floor with the chemical you are using so it can have proper dwell time before cleaning. For in-depth training on what types of chemicals to use, see your local distributor for help. Step 1 of setting up the Endeavor is filling it with water from the fill port on the front of the machine. You can use a hose from a janitor's closet, or if that isn't available, you can use a 5-gallon bucket to fill it. If you are cleaning in a large area, we recommend you use the autofill and auto dump feature on the Endeavor by hooking a standard garden hose up to a water source and then to the bottom fill port on the back of the machine, and hooking up another garden hose to the dump port on the back of the machine and running the other end to a drain or toilet. Make sure the hose is free from all kinks and obstructions before operating the machine. We suggest a thicker, no-kink garden hose when using auto dump and autofill. As water pressure varies from facility to facility, we recommend that if you are using the autofill feature of the Endeavor, that you only turn on the water source to 50% open. This reduces stress on the internal components of the autofill system and extends product life. Next, we will connect the power cords with speak-on connectors to the machine by inserting the connectors into the outlets on the back of the machine and then twisting them to lock them in place. Plug in the other ends of the power cords into separate outlets and test the GFCI button on the end of each cord. To help you find separate circuits, find the circuit locator light on the front control panel. When you have the cords plugged into separate circuits, the light will illuminate green. Now we will prime the pump. Turn on the pump switch, turn the prime selector valve to the prime position, and then turn on the vacuum. Cup your hand over the vacuum intake for 20 to 30 seconds to help pull the air pockets out of the pump and the solution line. When finished, turn off the vacuum and the pump and return the prime selector valve back to the down or run position. It is very important to note that you never walk away from the Endeavor when the pump is on and the prime valve is set to prime. The power prime valve can also be used to relieve pressure in the solution line by simply turning it to the prime position and then back to the run position. Now we will hook up the Revolution Hard Surface tool. First, connect the high pressure solution line to the quick connect on the control panel of the front of the machine. Then connect the vacuum hose to the vacuum connector. Next, connect the high pressure solution line to the Revolution's quick connect on the handle, and connect the vacuum hose to the vacuum port on the tool. Be sure to adjust the vacuum brake on the vacuum connector on the tool to the optimum suction for the floor you are cleaning. The final step in the setup process is applying powdered chemical defoamer to the floor before you start cleaning. When you clean hard surfaces with high pressure agitation, it tends to build up quite a bit of foam, which can cause premature vacuum failure if not kept in check. This is a critical step to keep the foam buildup in your vacuum tank at a minimum. You can even suck a little bit of the defoamer into the vacuum hose for extra protection. For more in-depth training and advice on chemical use for hard surface cleaning, connect with your local distributor. They are your resource for local support and training.